Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly presented by Whiskerware Apparel, live from Florence, Alabama at the Florence Lauderdale Convention Center and Business Bureau. Doc, I don't know what you got in Ohio, but it was 9 degrees at Wheeler Lake this morning when I crawled out of bed.
Well, this morning when I got up, it was -6. And right now, currently in the Buckeye State, it is 3.
Kind of brisk.
Yeah.
Kind of brisk. We left Buffalo, Missouri yesterday morning. It was -4. So it is a little tough, to say the very least. A little tough. Did the chat come up?
Yeah, it's up. I got it up. I had to go to a different link to get it up, but it is up.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. Before we get started with Jason, I want to tell you guys something that is a life-saving product. Now, these come from Crusher Marine. This is a beanie that you put over your head and holds the heat in. It's amazing. I have not hardly been outside without it in the last week. And this gaiter that I wore in the summertime to keep the sun off of me retains the heat and keeps the wind off of my face. And I will not be without them. If anybody is going to be fishing this winter, get a hold of Robert at Crusher Marine. You need to have those products. It will save you chap face products. It will keep you warmer, and you can put your hat or hoodie right over top of them things. They are really, really a neat deal. And I am thoroughly enjoying them down here with the temperatures that we're having in Alabama. So just thought I would mention that for you guys that's watching tonight that knew we was going to have Jason Methenia on. Hang tight. We'll get to him in just a minute. And once we get everything done with Jason, we have Daniel Parsons and Jody Harrison here, and they have a special guest with them. And we'll get them on the show here a little bit later. So hang tight. And we was packed so tight, Doc, when we left Missouri in the truck that we didn't get to bring the RigRap prize wheel. So before I left, I give it a few spins, and I have those spins wrote down on my notepad. And as we do the spins, we'll announce what products, whoever it is, will win. So how does that grab you?
That'll work.
That'll work. We're still going to give away stuff, and we're still going to have a good time.
Yeah. I'm behind tonight. So bear with me. I'm running behind tonight.
That's all right. It's all right. It's cold, and it's not supposed to be like this, so it is what it is. Jason Methenia, welcome to Catfish Weekly, buddy.
How you guys doing? Hi, Doc. Hi, Lyle.
Hey, Jason.
I'm sure you're probably at a balmy 0 or so there in central Illinois.
I think it was -1. -1.
I didn't miss it by much.
No, a little too cold for me to go out there.
Well, I hate it that both of you are not here with us. But with this kind of weather and the way Doc sounds, he probably needs to stay home.
And I am staying home.
I got it myself, too.
Jason, have you been out on the Mississippi River?
Actually, the last 2 times I have been out, I've been on the Mississippi. It's been about a week now. But we were catching a few fish, nothing real big. My buddy Bill Ray and I went downtown. I don't have a fish finder as of right now, but we was doing a little bit of looking around. We caught a few fish. We had a good time. It was a good time. Always a good time spending with Bill Ray.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Dwayne is a hoot to be around, and good fisherman in his own right, and does very well at catching bait. So he's a bonus.
Yeah, a little bit.
How's mom doing?
She's doing great. She's probably watching the show right now. Hi, Mom.
I'm betting that at 9 degrees, if she'd have been here this morning and you'd have got the boat out, she'd have been in it.
Oh, I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Yeah, we both had to work, and I didn't have any vacation time, so we just couldn't make it happen this time. Otherwise, we would have been down. We would have loved to have been down there.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a little cool, but there's several people here already. In the next few days, they'll really start rolling in, so it's going to be a great show. Jody and Daniel have everything ready to rock, and we're going to have a blast one way or the other.
It's going to be a cold blast, but a blast, right?
That's right. That's right. I don't think that the people with the real fast boats will probably be running too many of them wide open, but you never know.
I think most everybody's going to the full cabin enclosures now. They ought to stay pretty warm.
Well, I'm thinking that after this, that don't have them will be looking for them.
My boat, actually.
Vicky just said hi, Jason.
I knew she'd be watching.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
Well, listen, Jason, we had planned on visiting with you about winter safety, and I knew that you had wrote an article some time back about people being safe in wintertime and the stuff that it takes to make sure that you don't get yourself into trouble. And Doc is one of the best guys that I'm aware of about wearing his PFD. I am not. I know that you're probably not, but Doc always wears his, and in this kind of weather, that's the main thing that comes to my mind is that should be wore probably the majority of the time. But now you've got a bunch of other stuff to go over.
Yeah, I did. I wrote an article a long time ago. A buddy of mine asked me to write this article, and it's filled with a lot of information. I'll post it to my Facebook page if you want to read it word for word. But you know, I did this years ago, and even though I feel that I have a safety mind conscious when I'm on the water, but recently I got into a situation where luckily for me and my kids, it didn't turn tragic, but it very quickly could have. And if I would have just done the things that were on my list, we would have been much better off. But we got into a hurry, got complacent, got into a little bit of boat problems, and got ourselves into a little bit of a scenario. But I'd really like to share that with you guys. You know,
Really?
Getting my boys on the water is phenomenal, and getting them both at the same time is just unheard of. But I talked them into going to Carlisle with me to get some bait. We launched a boat there at Keysport. We was just going to run just pretty much across the cove to the train trestles to get some shad for the next day trip. I went over there. We threw the cast net. We was getting baby drum, not what we were looking for. We was trying to find some shad, and I found myself getting farther and farther away from the boat ramp. I don't know why, but I blew a fuse on my outboard, and I was not able to start it. I carry extra fuses with me, and by the time I dug them out, the wind was blowing us across the lake away from the boat ramp. I went ahead and changed the fuses out, and hit the key. As soon as I hit the key, I blew a fuse. I put another fuse in it, hit the key, blew that fuse. Wasn't thinking, still wasn't thinking it was in any trouble yet. I had to fit the trolling motor. Well, I did not have my remote for my trolling motor. I left it in the truck. So I was like, all right, I got the foot control. I went to grab the foot control, and I had the wrong foot control. I had the foot control for the Altera and not the Tarova, and they're not compatible. At least I couldn't get it to work. So the wind was blowing us farther and farther away. We grabbed the oar and started oaring back towards the bank. are trying to get back to the boat ramp, and the oar that I have, it's enough to be legal on the body of water, but it was not adequate to move the boats efficiently. We were really struggling with this little collapsible oar, and we wasn't making much headway. The problem with that night was the temperatures had dipped while we were stranded on that body of water, and one of my sons was underdressed, greatly underdressed. He started getting cold. He wanted me to drop him off on the bank and go get us some help. We didn't have our cell phones on us. We did everything wrong that night. And when you go to a place like Carlisle, you don't think, you're so complacent, so comfortable. You just don't think anything major can happen. But, you know, here I am. I've put my boys in the situation. The temperature's dropping on us. We're in the middle of a lake. I have no way of getting back to the boat ramp. We don't have any way of contacting anyone. And we're shooting for the bank now with this collapsible oar that doesn't really want to move us very well. But we elected to stick together. We was going to go for help together, and we oared to the bank. We got to the bank, and we started walking. And I didn't realize how secluded Carlisle Lake was until we started walking. And I'm not sure if we was walking in circles. I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but we walked quite some time before we come to a farmer's field. All the time, my one son keeps getting colder and colder and colder. We find this farmer's field, and on the other side of the farmer's field, we find these houses, what looks to be houses. So we beeline to the houses. We get to these houses, and these houses are actually summer homes. There's nobody there. These are just summer retreat cabins, and there's just nobody there to give us a hand. I'm not sure where we are. I've never been to this summer neighborhood before. There's no vehicles. My one son, he keeps telling me he's getting really cold. At this point, I don't even know how long we were into this, but it felt forever, of course. And I start thinking about breaking into somebody's house. It actually crossed my mind to break into somebody's house and to get my child warm. It was a horrible feeling. It was a horrible, horrible feeling. And but I figured, you know, if I break into somebody's house, I can get my kid warm, and you know, I can always contact people, pay for the damage that I've done breaking into their house or whatever later. But when it comes to a complete stranger's house getting broken into, or my son, you know, getting frostbite or worse, I'm going to break into somebody's house. But there was one hillside that I elected to go ahead and crest. And I told the kids, I said, you know, if we go past this hillside and we don't see anybody, we're going to break into somebody's house. But we crested this hillside, and way out in the distance, I see a light on in the house. And there's a car in the driveway. So we beeline there. And this is where it gets interesting, because I start pounding on the back door and trying to get somebody awake. And I have no idea what time it is. I don't know whose house this is, a complete stranger. I'm pounding on the back door. And my son said he could tell that there was a TV on. So I knew somebody was there. So I start pounding even louder. And he said, I see someone moving. They're moving. So I pound a little bit more, and we wait a few minutes, and he goes, it's a girl, and she's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, this isn't good. Well, luckily for us, she would answer the door. And when I told her what had happened, she actually invited us in to warm up. She called my wife. My wife started heading towards me Carlisle. But she asked us where we put in it. And after I told her, she goes, "It's not that far away. I can take you." But long story short, she took us back to the boat ramp. I was able to get my phone, call my wife, tell her to turn around and go back home, and of course get warmed up and get home. So I ended up leaving my boat overnight on the water and going back and getting it the next day. But I feel like such a heel putting my kids in that situation to begin with, and all the things that I did wrong. Not having a cell phone with me. Not letting everyone know exactly where we were on the body of water. And, I was very fortunate that things worked out the way that they did, and it didn't get out of control and bad things happen, especially with my kids. I could have never lived with myself if something would have happened to my kids. So I wrote this article years ago. And unfortunately to me, I did not do anything on this list. And it was just supposed to be 5 minutes. It was supposed to be 5 minutes on the water. We would have been back coming home. We would have had a cooler full of shad. And it turned into a nightmare that took several hours to get out of. So I don't want to go ahead and read this word for word. But, some of the things I talk about, contacting the local U.S. Coast Guard and asking them about boater safety training, especially beginner boaters, experienced boaters alike. Be familiar with boating safety rules, boater operation requirement vary by state. So contact your local government or people and find out what kind of rules apply for those states. Be familiar with those rules. Being familiar with the body of water. I talk about being familiar with the body of water, how to become familiar with the body of water with Google Earth and different navigational maps. Checking the weather. That was one thing I didn't do. I didn't know that the weather was going to dip below freezing that night that I took my kids out on Carlisle. It was supposed to be 5 minutes. We were supposed to be out there for 5 minutes. Done it a billion times, on and off. Got our bait, and I did not check the weather. My son was definitely underdressed for the amount of time that we spent out there. Wearing your life jacket. Lyle, you're guilty. I'm guilty. My mom is not guilty. She always wears her life jacket.
Us older people have a tendency of doing that.
Yeah. Staying away from alcohol. People don't realize how important it is to stay away from alcohol, especially in winter situations. The probability of becoming involved in a boating accident doubles when alcohol is involved. So, wintertime is no time to play. I mean, it's very, very, very important to have a clear, conscious mind when you're out there. I talk about hypothermia. It's the #1 killer during winter months. I talk about ways to prevent hypothermia, staying warm, hydration, the symptoms. If you're out there, especially, winter blues, you guys listening, if your partner shows slow response, confusion, sluggish thinking, difficult speaking, severe shivering, these are all signs of hypothermia. Seek medical help. Let's see, I talk about just using common sense. Common sense, if whether it be if you're fishing on a river, keeping a sharp knife at the front of your boat in case an iceberg comes down and catches your anchor rope, you can cut away quick. Staying away from high traffic areas. I'm talking about like, you know, high traffic barge areas, stuff like that. Just stay, you know, during the winter months, it's just more important, unless you're familiar with the body of water, just stay out of those people's way. And I think you can keep yourself from getting in harm's way a lot quicker. So, like I said, I will post this on my Facebook page. I recommend people sharing it, get the word out. It's filled with a bunch of good information. I wish I would have listened to or paid attention to it myself when I almost got myself into a predicament with my kids in the boat. But I just want everyone to be safe. You know, I want pay attention to what you're doing, and make sure you come home to your loved ones. That's the most important thing, you know.
It's a great story. You know, I visited with you when this happened. You told me this story, and I knew that you had wrote this article. Now, I'm not home, and I'm not on my PC at the house. So, if you or Jamie gets a chance, if you wouldn't mind, please post that article to Catfish Weekly on the group page, so people can look at it and share it. This is extremely important. We are in severe conditions in this tournament, and it's not that something would happen, but if something does happen, and it's not just this tournament, we got the rest of the winter to look forward to, and people need to be aware of their surroundings so they know what to look for if something does happen, and there's some quality information in that article.
Yeah, I tried to cover a little bit of everything. It didn't take me long to write. I was just asked to write it. I pulled something out of my butt real quick, but it's filled full of information.
It is. It's a great article. It's well written.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you be careful down there.
Absolutely. We're with our old buddy John. We're in his express on this trip, and he has a new enclosure put on it, and he has a heater, and I brought a spare just in case his don't work. So we're looking forward to getting out there tomorrow and see if we can find some fish.
I hope you guys have a blast.
Well, we already had a blast. You know, John and I haven't fished together in a few years, so there was not a quiet moment in the truck the whole trip down, except when he fell asleep.
And he was driving.
No, he was not. But that was cute. That was cute.
Did the old Clark Griswold?
You betcha. We visit on the phone quite a bit, and we used to fish together every once in a while. But you know, with things getting busy, we hadn't got a chance to. And I mentioned it to him about coming down here. Of course, he jumped on it. And we've had a good time. We're going to have a great time whether we catch fish or not.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I haven't seen John in years. Tell him I said hi.
I will do that. He just stepped outside for a minute, but I looked up a while ago and there was 6 people in here as we're doing the show, and 4 of them was on cell phones.
How's the better halves doing? How's Miss Lynn and Cindy doing?
Cindy is doing wonderful. She's keeping me out of trouble, and you know,
Miss Lynn she's doing fine. I think she's in the other room watching the show.
Good.
Excellent.
I guess when am I going to see you guys again? I don't think there's really anything between now and the national championship, is there?
Catfish conference.
Catfish conference.
I won't be able to make it.
No, that's your weekend to work.
It is.
Because I'm taking vacation.
That's your weekend to work too.
But I'm taking vacation.
Oh, don't we have a tournament in St. Louis coming up?
Doc won't be there though.
In March.
Doc,
where's it at? In St. Louis?
Yeah, Columbia Bottoms.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I love that area.
I do too. I don't.
That's gonna be a Twisted Cat event.
What's that?
that going to be a Twisted Cat event?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Somebody
Yeah,
wants to know where you got the ram on the wall.
That was actually a ranch down south. That was a birthday present years ago. My wife set me up on a hunt on a ranch down south. Yeah. I didn't even know you could see that.
Oh yeah, the camera doesn't. It picks up everything.
You bet.
That's
Sounds like
that's actually a move on
if she sends you out on, if she's sending you out on hunting trips, she's a keeper.
Yeah, I'd keep her even if she didn't.
I'll bet so. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably couldn't have even done this without her. She had to set this all up for me. I'm not very good with electronics.
It was really good to
But
see
on
her
the
when
good note, I
she
think I got
popped
my
up.
boat figured out. Wyo's blowing fuses. There was some corrosion going on in the wiring, so hopefully I got my fingers crossed. I got that taken care of. We should be ready to rock and roll. So
Somebody posted. Let's see.
I think the
somebody
temperature's
posted in
going to
here.
get up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Jake posted on our chat that you have the best wife ever.
Oh, that has to be my wife posting that, I think.
I think it does.
But I might agree with her. I think I'll agree with her.
Well, listen, Jason, we thank you so much for sharing that story with us. I know it was heartfelt. And like I say, if you guys get a chance, post that article up on Catfish Weekly's group page. And anyone that watches it needs to share that. Be sure to read it. It is chock full of some great information.
All right, guys. Hey, good luck to you guys down there. Doc, hope you start feeling better.
Yeah, me too.
I will hopefully see you guys soon. Take care.
Hey, before you go, Jason, you still there? All right,
Yeah.
give me a number from 1 to 5.
4.
Number 4 it is. Okay, Lyle.
Yep. We didn't bring the RigRap reel, but I have them wrote down. 2, 3. And by the way, we have 215 entries this week. And 4. And the winner is Julie Wise, W-I-S-E. And Julie wins a prize from Whiskerwear Apparel. And if you'll contact Rob or Chelsea, they will hook you up and ship your t-shirt, hoodie, whatever it is they select for you to your address. So be sure and send that to Catfish or Whiskerwear Apparel on Facebook and tell them that you want a prize on Catfish Weekly, and they will get it right out. Thanks for watching the show and playing the RigRap prize wheel game, even though we don't have the RigRap prize wheel.
Take care, guys.
Good deal. Thanks,
Appreciate
Jason.
it, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Now, Doc, I mentioned that we are at the Tourism Center in Florence, Alabama. This is a absolute beautiful facility down here. Wealth of history. We done a short video before the actual show tonight, so anybody that wants to see a really good quick history on this area and the Tennessee River system and other things, check out the live video that we done from the Florence Lauderdale Tourism and Visitor Center. I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the information there. And if you're in this area, be sure to stop in here and see Susie and all of the people that's in this area, because it is absolutely a great facility and it's loaded up with some really cool stuff in here. The background here is of the dam, and the whole area is just outstanding. It's really neat. So
Good deal. Yeah, that's a good backdrop you got there.
yeah, I'd like to take it home with me, but I'd have to take the whole wall. So I guess I'll pass on that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe take a picture and then we can transfer it.
Maybe do that.
So,
But Well, we might try to do that before I leave tonight because, you know, they was gracious enough to stay late and do the little short show with us and let us do our show here. A lot of places don't go to them kind of extremes to do Catfish Weekly, but we appreciate it very much. Great
Nice.
facility, and we appreciate it very much. In the meantime, we have Jody Harrison and Daniel Parsons, and they're going to come up here and join the show. So if you'll give us just a second, we'll get everything centered up to where we can get everybody in the thing, and they have an introduction for tonight. So we'll see about getting all this put together. Hi guys.
You doing well?
We're doing good.
Good.
We're doing good.
There it is.
Hey
Hey,
Daniel, how's it going?
Hey, Daniel. Hey, Jody.
I got to tell you, boys, Doc in his cold weather, he's sick. He's not going to be here. He could have kept that stuff in Ohio. We do not need it in Alabama.
Folks down south, we don't do cold weather like this. This is no.
This is it's unreal.
Scraped ice off of the windshield of that monster cat, and I never thought I would see that in Alabama, but that was mild compared to what's going on here right now.
Well, I blame it on all you northern folks. I think y'all send it down here with you or something. I mean,
We used to have good weather till we started this tournament.
yeah.
Well, yes.
You know, that's like last year. Last year we didn't have a winter here in Alabama except during winter blues. So I don't know what you northern folks are doing, but y'all need to stop.
Well, it must be those guys from the central Missouri down here. I seen Dave and Rob Gregg and a bunch of them guys getting ready to go out this morning, and they was putting the enclosure on their boat and firing up the heater before they ever left the motel or the camping area. So I'm going to blame it on them.
Well, you know, the one good thing about the cold weather is it really gets them big cats moving, you know, and it makes for a great tournament. And I'll tell you, I mean, this last month has just been phenomenal putting this tournament together, and you know, having the support of Florence Lauderdale Tourism like we have, it's just, you know, can't say enough about them in Rogersville. And you know, they really rolled out the red carpet for Winter Blues this year. And you know, we couldn't do it without. Having community support is
That's everything.
It is.
It's everything, you know. And I was talking to Susie earlier, and I told her, I said, this is going above and beyond to allow us to come down here and her staying late and do the show here. They don't have to do that. They could have told us to go to the motel or wherever and do it. But I'm telling you, this facility is phenomenal.
It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, it's
It was
gorgeous.
really nice looking. And I'll tell you, I haven't been here since it was finished. The last time I was here, it was still under construction. And when I walked in here, it was just the wow factor when you walk in that door. It's just, it's amazing. Man.
And the history behind this area, I never knew till she started talking about it. Of course, I was trying to get everything lined up to do the show. And she was telling John and Cindy about it. And I said, man, we got to have you on here and do something because it's just too good.
No doubt.
And it really is. It was a great clip. So like I say, we posted it earlier. Anybody gets a chance to see it needs to watch it. And if they're in this area, if you come down to fish, take a few minutes and come by here.
No doubt.
You will be thoroughly impressed with what they have going on here.
We hope that a lot of the participants do that. Is, you know, they'll take a few minutes out of the fishing time and come by here to the tourism center and really see what it's all about, and you know, realize the rich history that
Well, let's face it, guys. Other than tournament day, nobody really needs to be out there all day long at 9 degrees.
I agree.
It's brutal.
It is.
It's brutal.
You know, I've put on tournaments all over the place. And there's so many times I stand there on that dock and I'm watching all the boats take off, and I'm so full of envy. Everybody's leaving, everybody gets to go fish. I get to stand there and
Not
put the
today.
tournament together. This isn't one of them. Y'all can have that. I got a guy that's sponsoring a couple of these big radiant heaters that they use for football games, and I'm gonna be just as close to that thing as I can be.
I mentioned a while ago, John has a double buddy heater. They're about this big. There's two of them side to side. Fits on 30-pounder. He brought his. And as a backup, I brought mine. Just in case his quits, you know. So,
okay, that's we've had a question that says, is live streaming available during the tournament? You know, that gets into such a slippery slope. If it was as easy as it said, I would love for every boat out there to be live streaming everything they're doing. The unfortunate part of that is recognizable backgrounds. And when you're live streaming out there, people can see your background, so it can actually be considered as transmitting fishing information. And so that's where we got to kind of not allow that to happen. You know, it's a double-edged sword is what it is, and we really hate to be that way about it. Now, if you can video it during the tournament and air it afterwards, we're all for that. We'd love for you to do it. If you want to take some video or shots that is down inside of your boat that doesn't transmit any background information, we're good with that. But I just, you know, everybody just really needs to be very particular about that, because in the tournament fishing world, so many things can happen.
It can, and I have to tell you that if we would happen to put a good fish in the boat, I'm not sharing that with anybody until we get to weigh in.
Right, you'd have 30 boats sitting right on top of you.
That's right. You got to beat them off of you with a stick, especially if they're not biting for anybody else.
That's right. You know, if you find the one hot hole and then nobody else has got them, and then you know you live stream that big fat cat, especially if it's something that's easing in on that $50,000 state record we're doing, and you know. They're going to find out just how fast some catfish boats can go. So.
I honestly believe John and I spent that $50,000 on the way down here 3 or 4 different ways.
Oh, do you really?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, whether it becomes reality or not, we'll see.
Well,
but
the problem is you can't spend it yet, because one thing we forgot to announce is there's going to be a service charge placed on top of that after the tournament.
For you, Daniel.
And you know, for me and Daniel to kind of do it. You know, service charge, tip, however you want to do it.
That's plenty to go around.
It is.
It's plenty to go around.
15% gratuity to a party of 2 or more.
Yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure, if it would happen to come towards us, we'll be partying down on Saturday night. I guarantee it.
So you're saying you would take that $50K and it would be just put right back into the economy of
a high percentage of it sure would be. I promise you. Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what y'all are here for.
That's right.
To help the economy and you know, help that economic impact.
You know, we put on tournaments for a long time. You guys have done wonderful things to this tournament from the growth from the time it started, because I was here at the first one. People don't realize when they set up these big tournaments, the impact that the anglers make to the area.
Exactly.
People are buying fuel for their boat. They're buying fuel for their vehicles. They're buying, whether it be cabins at the camping area, if they're buying motel rooms, they eat out. But very few people fix over 1 or 2 meals in a cabin. Mm-hmm. We're going to eat out every meal except probably one, you know, and that's because City's making homemade vegetable soup. I'm not going to miss that. But, you know, you got to buy a license. When you go in there to the store to buy a license, there's something that you left at home, and you're going to pick that up while you're there. I would like some way to be able to monitor how much money you're spent in them areas when we're having 100, 150, 200 boat tournaments, because it is a big deal. And from the first time we was at Winter Blues, we plan on coming back every year. Now, last year I had a shoulder surgery, and we didn't get to make it back last year, but we're already looking forward to the next one.
Right.
You know, and that's the way a lot of the hardcore tournament guys are. You know, they're already planning for next year being here. We know you guys are going to be here.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and one of the things, we did our Facebook Live last week, and one of the things I was really pushing everybody is it's going to be the importance of these surveys that we put out. And
that's a great idea.
And we want every angler that's fishing this tournament to make sure that they fill out one of these surveys, and we're even bribing you. I mean, we're going to have your surveys there. We're going to have prizes, but the only way you can get a ticket is you got to fill out a survey. You got to put a survey in our hand, and that survey it allows us to be able to put a dollar value on what this tournament does for the community. We want to see what that economic impact is for everybody coming to town, because right now we're sitting at 156 boats pre-registered.
And we got Friday night.
And we've been getting messages all day long about can we pay at the tournament, we pay at the meeting and all. So, I mean, we're going to be hitting 180, 200 boats in this thing. Well, out of that 180, 200 boats, you're only looking at about 10 boats that are actually from Alabama. Out of those 10 in Alabama, you're only looking at about 3 that are truly local. So, I mean, just say right now, it's on this 156 boats, that's 153 teams that are in town. That wouldn't have been in town, and every dollar they spend is going to be put into the community. And
there's a lot of 3-person teams,
right,
where it used to be most of the catfishing teams was 2-people teams, but with fuel cost and the expense of motels and all the stuff that goes with us, the 3-person teams, you're able to divide that up 3 ways, but that 3rd person is spending money too.
That's right.
So it all works out.
Yeah, 3rd person's got to eat.
He's got to eat. He's got to get soda pop, and if they're having adult beverages, believe me, there's going to be some of that going on. I promise you.
Well, soda pop.
Excuse me.
Did you say soda pop?
Soda pop.
Soda pop.
Well, what is soda pop? Oh, you're talking about Cokes.
It's Coke or sweet tea here.
Yeah, it's Coke or sweet tea. All sodas are Coke.
I don't drink Cokes, and I don't drink
when you walk into the store right here, you say, "Hey, will you get me a Coke?" And the answer is, "Sure." What kind?
Mountain Dew.
Right.
Diet.
That's right. So we don't do soda here or pop. but you know, but
I stand corrected.
Yeah, we don't do soda here.
But over the last few years, even at 80, 90 boats, it has rocked.
Absolutely.
It is, I mean, and the people that have been here, Rogersville is a smaller rural town. I mean, we have, 2 red lights in Rogersville? And I think because of the tournament last year, they got a stop sign. So but it is rocking it. And when you get this many people into town in a non-tourist time frame during the wintertime, it really, really rocks it.
And it's a major impact. I hope that it is, and I know that it is. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Daniel. I remember the first year we come down here, and we all went to Walton. Well, we went to Walton's today, and we never run off any of the people that worked there. They was the nicest lady that waited on us. We had a wonderful meal, and I asked her if she remembered that, and she did. We made an impact on them people.
Oh yeah, they had the owner back there cooking up the catfish for us.
Absolutely.
They thought, we're going to get together with a few people here and there, and that's going to be it. Next thing you know, fire marshal's wanting to shut it down because we've got too many people back in there.
Did you ever dream that the first one would be that way?
No.
Yeah.
And even after that tournament, if Jody or anybody told me fast forward 3 years and look where we're at, no.
Yeah, it's a great event. It's become one of the major events in the nation. And that's what we want.
Yeah, it is.
That's what we want.
And what's so cool about it is the national reach that we've got with this show. When you're going through that registration list, you see people coming from California. We have people come, South Texas, South Florida, the Carolinas, Virginia's up into Leslie. She's coming all the way from Pennsylvania.
Right.
We have people coming from Minnesota. So, I mean, Winter Blues on Wheeler has become a national tournament. We're not just a small regional tournament like you see on a lot of the other ones. It's not just a southeastern tournament. We have truly reached the national level here. And, this is stuff that going into 2019, we're going to be able to build so much going into 2019 that it's going to be phenomenal. We're going to be able to do this tournament next year. But I say we can't do it without the anglers.
That's right.
It's the anglers that come is the only reason why it is what it is. Everything that we do is non-existent without the anglers.
One of the biggest things that I see that is the disappointment factor for me this year is Doc Lang has never been to Wheeler Lake, and he's sick and is not going to make it this year.
No.
I was so disappointed when he shot me that message and said he wasn't coming.
I was looking forward to it. I really was. I was pumped up about it. I've been on Wilson and I've been on Pickwick. but I have never been on Wheeler.
How can you be so close and not hit it?
But you gotta look at one thing: river fishermen. So at Pickwick, I'm at home because that's like the Ohio River down there below the Wilson Dam. That's like the Ohio River. I felt comfortable on that area. Wilson was a little intimidating, and I just can't imagine what Wheeler's going to be like. So I was really looking forward to it. But like I was telling Lyle, 15 years ago, Bink Fox and I went to Tennessee, and I had a little cold when I went to Tennessee. We spent a week down there, and it was brutal. It was raining every day. It was snowing. It was cold. I got back home, and I was sick, and I mean really, really sick. I ended up getting pneumonia, and I had bronchitis, and that was 15 years ago. Now I'm 15 years older, and I've got a cold right now. And when I talked to Jody, I said, this old dog is not about to come down there under the conditions that you guys are in right now. So unfortunately, you know, I want to hang around for a few more years, and so I'm not going to take a chance at it. So,
well, Doc, there's a lot of things that none of us can do now that we used to do.
I know, yeah.
Oh, well, I feel like I can still do them all. I feel like I can, but in reality, I know I cannot.
Yeah, well, there's always next year, Doc.
Yep,
like
I know.
2019 is going to be bigger and better than what this one is, and as far as I'm concerned, will be a staple in this community now, and I don't see it going anywhere. And we're really proud to be doing what we're doing with it.
And everybody's excited to get here. And that's what makes it great, is when people can't wait from January of 2017 to get here in 2018. They're looking forward to it. When that one shuts down, you're doing it right.
Right. And that's what we're going to do is, and I guess we're going to make a formal announcement here, is that whoever wins this tournament this year will have a free entry into the tournament for next year.
Heck yeah.
That's cool. That is a benchmark for every year from here on out. And then also, with that being said, of course, we're going to always have boat number one is Scott Sanders and Paul Stroud.
That's outstanding.
And, in memory of both of them. And, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep doing it. If hopefully our goal this year is we're going to open up pre-registrations, excuse me, on February 1st. That's what we hope to do. Is just go ahead and get the pre-registrations open back up and give people the opportunity to, if they can afford it early, they can go ahead and pay for it, get it out of the way, and then, it's not all hitting, right towards the end of the year, towards Christmas and all of those days. Because me and David Ashby from Bottom Dwellers Tackle, our primary sponsor for this tournament, we were talking about that with us getting a late start on the pre-registrations. That the pre-registrations hit right about the time when kids were going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
So people were really, you got kids going back to school, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, and then we're trying to throw in the cost of winter blues on Wheeler on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough. It's tough. It's tough on everybody, and we see that. So pre-registrations open early. And that way it won't be such a financial burden on people.
Right. And Dave Ashby stepped up to the plate for this tournament.
David Ashby, he didn't step up to the plate. He reinvented the plate.
Yeah.
On this one. I mean, David just, man, he just went so far above and beyond. But it's his love for the sport. It's his love for the people. It is.
He is a catfisherman.
He is.
He is behind so many tournaments, not just yours, but throughout the U.S. He does so much for people that nobody ever knows about. And what he has done for Winter Blues on Wheeler is he's knocked it out of the park.
He really has. And he, he's let it be known to me that as far as we're concerned, that he will always be a part of it.
That's awesome.
And that's great. And, we have really, over the past couple of years, developed a really good relationship, and I enjoy working with David. And we couldn't, on the sponsorship side of it, we couldn't be where we're at without him. So, I mean, just so much goes into this that, you see a lot of tournament organizations out there that a lot of times a tournament organizer wants to be in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what I'm doing. Look at me. Look at me. This couldn't be, it couldn't be what it is without me. And it's not that way.
No.
The tournament organizer is the absolute last person in line.
That's exactly right.
I mean, we're the bottom of the barrel. We're the bottom of everything. The very first and foremost is you have the anglers, the participants of it. You've got the communities that come in and support us. You got the sponsors that come in and support us. You got the families that support the anglers that's willing to do it. Mm-hmm. And and it's just the tournament organizers down here at the bottom. We're nothing. We got to have all this happen first before we can do anything.
That has to come together. Whatever gets to you.
That's right. It really does, and we're so thankful that it's doing what it's doing. I mean, I think my prediction for 2019 is I think we're gonna make history with being one of the largest catfish tournaments ever.
That's what I like to hear.
I want to see it being the largest catfish tournament ever, with the highest payout ever, and I mean, I think we can do that if we've accomplished what we have this year with what we've got. When we can put all this stuff together, show the numbers that we're able to do, show the support that we're getting from what we are, I don't see why we can't.
The numbers you've got with the weather we're dealing with is.
Yeah, I saw the forecast. I thought, man, this cancellation list is fixed to get big.
But it hasn't.
I mean, we've had a few here and there, but everybody's excited about it.
Steve and those guys drove all the way from California, and I've seen pictures where they went through areas where ice hanging off of the mirrors on his truck, and them boys don't ever know what ice on.
No, they don't know what that stuff.
They don't have any idea. We grew up in an area that we have a lot of that. So when they said the weather could be bad, big deal, John. Let's roll. Mm-hmm. He's at my house. We're loading up. We're ready to go. But so many people are coming from areas that they don't get that, and they're still coming.
They're still coming. We're dealing with it, and we don't know what it is.
Exactly. You guys are not used to it. Now, you get Doc not feeling well. You understand. He don't want to be worse off than he is, and I do understand that. It's a little fun riding on him a little bit, but I don't want him to get sick. I need him every Monday night, and if he can't be there, I'm going to be lost. But I don't want him to get sick. I don't want. So that's an understandable deal, but. People that are not sick, I don't see very many of them not coming.
No,
they're going to be here. They're going to fish. They know it's Wheeler Lake, and they know what's in it.
That's right. And I want to remind everybody this week, when you're here in town and you're out and about, whether you're at a restaurant eating or you're out on the water fishing, or if you're at a gas station fueling up, take a picture of that. Give us that hashtag at Winter Blues Week. We want to really build that up and try to get that hashtag going and see how big we can make that.
I'll have John explain to me what a hashtag is.
There you go. We'll do that.
There you go.
Have it really colored. We just do that hashtag Winter Blues Week and see how much momentum we can build for it. And just like we said, that after it's all said and done, we'll do something special for whichever one gets picked from it.
Well, I see no reason why, and barring something major happening, that we'll be at all of them till we quit fishing tournaments. We look forward to coming down here as we do other places, but this is special. It's Wheeler Lake, and it's wintertime. But normally when we get here, it's considerably warmer than it is where we left from. This time, not so much, but it's still Wheeler. It's still Wheeler, still Wilson, and we're going to have a blast regardless. We're going to have dinner with some friends tomorrow night, and then of course we're going to be at the captain's meeting, and it's going to be a hoot, and we can't thank you guys enough for everything you do. And I've told you before, throughout the year, before the tournament, whatever you all need from Catfish Weekly, all you got to do is let us know.
Well, thank you. That's comforting to us to know that we've got that kind of support, and you guys always have a home with us as far as we're concerned. Y'all will be any way we can make it happen.
Well, we'll always try to be here, and I've already talked to Susie about coming back here next year.
Yes,
because this is a wonderful facility.
It is.
Now,
and Susie's such a strong supporter of the fishing industry in general. There was a really good article that came out in the local paper where Susie was talking about the major tournaments coming into the area and trying to get more tournaments during the quote off season. And I was so impressed with that because, you know, we have the BA, the college bass tournaments are up here, the other big high profile names, and Winter Blues on Wheeler actually got added in on that.
There's what we're looking
you know,
for.
and with, you know, just kind of, when I read that, I saw our name on there, I thought, wow, this is all really happening.
It is.
It's really doing. So
It's
thank
a
you so much.
catfish tournament.
And people have never realized the impact that catfishing has made in the last 10 years. And
No.
Doc, you know as well as I do, we've been at it a long time, and we've seen it grow in the last 25 years to get to the position it's at now, and it's off the start.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing it a long time, and I still enjoy it. I can't go at it like I used to, though, but that's all right.
Now, you guys got a guest here with you tonight.
We do. We've got a new member of the family that we're going to do. I felt like that we needed a little bit of classing up here. I know that everybody get tired of looking at our mugs all the time, and so we figured we had to add something that was a little bit more attractive than us to look at, and
that's why I bring Cindy with me. It's not that
That's
she
right.
catches fish, even though she does, but it's just to make me look good.
That's right. That's what we got.
That's right.
But no, I mean, all kidding aside, this is Shannon Muncher. She's going to be my co-host on the stage this year. Shannon is actually a sales rep outside of this, and she's a sales rep for. She's my vendor, I guess is what you would say. And I've always been so impressed with Shannon's enthusiasm and her drive that she's got that we really want to bring her on board with us, and think she's going to be a very valuable member of this team.
Outstanding.
She does such a great job talking to people. She's got a wonderful personality. You know, from what I've learned about her, she's as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside, and we're just really looking forward to having her on board with us.
That's the exact kind of person that we want to bring into the sport of catfishing.
It is, and she's excited about being here. We talked the whole way up here, and you know, she's excited to see these big fish.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited.
Have you ever seen a big catfish?
Not a big catfish, but I'm super excited. I can't wait.
She'll be wanting to fish after she sees weigh-in Saturday.
She will, most definitely. And that's what's going to be so cool is that is her excitement, her enthusiasm is really going to show on the stage. I think it's going to add a whole new dimension
Absolutely.
to the show that we put on, and I think she's going to do a great job with us, and just really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. It'll be a wonderful time. I told you a while ago, you better make sure you bundle up.
I'm gonna bundle up. I'm from the South. I guess you can tell that. I told Jody, was he sure he wanted to put me in front of a microphone because I'm as Southern as they come. But yeah, y'all guys brought some cold weather in.
No, y'all didn't. Believe me, it was Dave and Rob Gregg and them guys there because I left it at home. I didn't bring none with me. We had the heater cranking and that Ford coming down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're finding out just how well our heaters work, but I think we're going to have a really good time.
We're going to have a great time. It's going to be a blast, and people are going to catch fish, and some won't. That happens everywhere you go. I hope we're one of them. Hey, Doc, what do you say we get Shannon to pick us out a number?
Yep, that sounds good because they're beating me up in chat.
Shannon, give me a number between 1 and 5.
2.
2. 1. 2 is Tim Rich. And Tim, go ahead and make the noise, Doc, so we know what we're doing. Spinning the RigRap prize.
Short wheel tonight.
Yeah. Tim Rich, you win a Catfish Weekly t-shirt if you will send us a message on Facebook with your size and your shipping address. When we get back from Winter Blues on Wheeler, I will get that sent out to you. Thanks for watching the show, and thanks for playing our game. Even though we don't have the prize wheel tonight, you're still going to get your prize. So we'll get all that taken care of. What else we need to go over about Winter Blues?
I think we've about got it. I think everything's covered. Me and Shannon's getting our talking points together.
Sweet.
Be ready to talk to everybody and One thing is everybody make sure that the cards we hand out at the meeting, put all of your sponsor information on it, your names, and everything that we need to talk about on stage. Also try to print as legibly as possible, because we're going to be, me and Shannon will be passing that between each other. She'll be reading off some of the cards, I'll be reading off of them, and you know, this is the opportunity for the anglers to really stand up and show their appreciation to their sponsors. That's what they're out there for. They're there to represent their sponsors. And, you know, we're going to be live streaming this. We've got a live stream company coming in, and we'll be live streaming on our Facebook page. There's no telling how many people's going to be seeing this. So this is an opportunity to really showcase everybody's sponsors. It's also going to be recorded. We've got some camera people that's going to be out on boats in this. We've got, I think, 3 drones lined up that's going to be flying around, getting camera footage on this. And so after everything's all said and done, and then also any of y'all that are recording the video, we want to try to get that video too. And all of this is going to be put together and, you know, submitted to some other entities and see if we can get some more national exposure off of this.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, I'm really glad to be here, and I know that everybody else is too, regardless of the weather. We're all going to be out there in boats, and we're all going to have a good time. It's going to be a blast, and we're going to catch some fish.
Sounds like a learned me.
Well, I heard you're going to win. Is that not correct?
Well, you know, the first year we come to Winter Blues, we launched the boat, and I broke the key off in the ignition, and the whole day went downhill from there.
That's not good.
The second year we got here, Cindy got her feet tangled up and fell off the top step of one of the cabins and messed her shoulder and back up. We didn't get to do much pre-fishing for that one. We kind of bombed on it. Last year I didn't get to come because we had a shoulder surgery. So we're due.
Four's the charm.
Yeah.
We're not going to say 3's the charm. We're going with four's the charm.
But, you know.
You're going to bring in that big catfish.
That's right. Cindy's going to fish with us. We got my friend that I went to high school, grade school with is here with us, and we're going to have a good time. If we catch fish, that's a bonus. We're going to have a blast, just like we do every time we come to Alabama.
That's awesome.
Friendliest people in the world live in Alabama.
We do.
There's some friendly ones in Missouri too, but from the minute you pull in down here, you can tell you're in the South, and they appreciate you being here, and that's what makes it so special for us.
Yeah, that's good. With us, it's hey y'all.
That's
hey,
right.
y'all.
That's right.
We're excited you are coming in.
Well, we're going to have a good time, and everybody is. And like I say, there's several people in now, but the next couple days, it'll be slamming.
That's when the wave will hit.
That's when the wave hits, and they're going to be eating out, and they're going to be buying gas and whatever else they need, and that's what we want them to do.
That's right.
So
recommend this community. Let's really show this community what the catfishing world's all about.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Lay out some big fish, and 100-pound fish in this tournament, whether it be the record or not, 100-pound fish in this tournament, you will have so many boats down here next year to be unbelievable.
What is the state record? What are we looking at?
120 pounds, 4 ounces.
Okay. That gives you something to work towards.
It's extremely doable.
It is doable.
It's very doable.
Yeah, because last year in practice leading up to the other event, there was 112, 102, and a 98 column. So
the year before, when John was down here pre-fishing before the tournament, when I couldn't be here that day, he caught 105.
Right.
So
they're in there.
They're here. There's no question.
Well, let's give them a couple years to grow, so they're on up there now.
Well, he says he's got a date with that one that he turned back, so it ought to be a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're gonna see a bunch of happy people if it does, and not only with whoever wins, it's gonna be with us. I mean, we're gonna get so excited.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
there couldn't be anything happen that was any better that somebody set a new record while they was here.
Yes, it would be great.
It'd be great for the whole fishing community, not just you guys tournament, but the whole catfishing community.
Exactly.
Yeah, and let me jump in there while you guys are talking. Don't anybody forget that Glenn is putting on a contest on who is going to win Winter Blues on Wheeler.
That's
and
right.
He's giving a bunch of RigRap stuff away. So get your guesses in who's going to win.
Now, Doc, do you know where that's posted at?
It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook on the RigRap deal.
Yeah. Come on, help me out here, Glenn. Where you at, buddy? I saw it posted in the chat earlier.
Dude, you got to get healed up. You need to go see the doctor and have put a big old shot of penicillin in your butt.
Yeah, Cad Daly, he's also doing a combo. I'm drawing a blank. He's doing.
I never seen you without words.
I was reading the chat. That's what I was doing.
On the RigRap Facebook page, Lyle.
Cad Daly's having a contest on his page, guessing who wins the closest weight for the tournament, who's going to win it. And if you get the closest for him, he's giving a set of trailer tires.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know as well.
Who don't need trailer tires?
You can wrap up some money in some trailer tires.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What?
You hear me, Lyle?
No, sir.
It's on RigRap Facebook page. Thanks, Glenn.
Okay. RigRap Facebook page. Make sure you go and make your prediction. Pick out a good one. Hope somebody will win.
So sign up for the RigRap Winter Blues on there. It's on their Facebook page. Enter to win.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, and we got those to give away too. RigRap gives us a lot of stuff that we're going to toss out into the audience, into the downtime where we're trying to calculate results and all.
Right.
I'm gonna hand the whole box of stuff to Shannon. I'm gonna say, here, throw it out there to
So I'm going to be y'all's new best friend because I'm
Sweet.
throwing stuff out.
That's right.
We have tossed out RigRap prizes at tournaments all year, and it's a great feeling.
It's fun.
People love to do it.
Yep.
And there's been a great crowd at weigh-in.
I hope so.
I look for it to be big. So, well,
All right.
thank you guys for coming down. I know it was a trip for you. Appreciate it.
It'll give us a good opportunity for the three of us to get together and kind of talk over the tournament and kind of get a game plan together. And, we're at the point now. It's just time to do this thing.
Yeah, we're ready to rock.
We're ready to.
We'll be out on the water tomorrow. We're going to find our fish. We're going to eat, drink, and be merry. And then we're going to lay it out come Saturday morning.
Awesome. And reminding everybody, Friday night, courtesy of Lauderdale County and Rogersville, they're going to be serving food to everybody during the captain's meeting. So,
I love to eat.
Oh yeah. Well, you look at me. You can tell. There's 5 minutes, very few minutes.
Full figure.
And if you ever want to know a good place to eat, ask a fat guy. I'm the
After.
Hey, ask me. I can take you some places to eat.
That's right. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, so they're going to feed everybody Friday night during the meeting. So that's going to be cool.
Never eat with a skinny chef.
Amen, brother.
That's words of advice.
Yes. Yeah. It's Lauderdale County High School is what it is. It's it was just a second. We're gonna look up the address on it.
Okay,
Google. Yeah. Everybody just Google it. Lauderdale County High School. That's what we do nowadays.
Doc, while they're looking up that address, how about a Doc's tip of the night?
Doc's tip of the night. Well, most everybody carries a cell phone. Just, as big, if not as big as mine, maybe a little bit smaller. One of the problems that you have with these things is when they get cold, it'll drain the battery real quick. So my tip tonight is you've got these pouches that you can put that phone in. So what you end up doing is in the winter time, just go ahead and take your phone, put it in one of these protective waterproof pouches. Just like that, you can seal it up. Now, the next thing you want to do is take one of them hand warmers or even the foot warmer. Open that thing up, but don't put it in this bag because they get fairly hot. But what you want to do is you want to stick this inside your jacket, put the heater right in there. That phone will stay nice and toasty warm, and if you need it, it's there for you to use it. The battery will not go down. It stays nice and warm. The phone will perform just like it's supposed to. If it gets good and cold, that phone doesn't work near as well as it does when it's warm. That's Doc's tip for the night.
That's a great tip,
I
Doc.
didn't know that.
That's a great tip, and that's a tip that people should be listening to this week because it is.
Oh,
Yeah, and if you don't have a case, what you can do is you can take the hand warmer, put it in there, but just don't let the hand warmer come, up against it, because it'll put a burn mark on your phone. But if you can just keep the phone warm, it'll work 10 times better than when it's cold.
Outstanding. Awesome. Yeah, great
good
tip.
information.
All right, we got the address for the Lauderdale County High School, that's the location of the captain's meeting for Winter Blues on Wheeler. The address is 201 Cedar Street. Once again, that's 201 Cedar Street in Rogersville, Alabama. 201 Cedar Street, Rogersville, Alabama. The doors are going to open at 4 o'clock. Captain's meeting promptly start at 6. And so 2 hours should give everybody plenty of time to get checked in. If anybody's got any new partners they're bringing, send them through the registration line, signed in. And once again, we ask for everybody to please fill out a survey. I just cannot stress the importance of that survey.
Oh, it is. That's very important for what you're doing.
And not only is it giving us a chance to impact the community, it gives us a chance to get the anglers' opinions on things. Mm-hmm. And we've also got some questions that's going to be on the backside as pertaining to the future of Winter Blues on Wheeler and some other projects that we have yet to announce. Okay. So we ask everybody to please fill them out. And we got 500 of them printed out. We'd like to see all 500 of them printed.
I think that's a good idea.
Thanks.
Good deal. Jody, before you go, give me a number.
3.
Caught me off guard, Doc.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. And this time the winner is Rick Nelson. And Rick Nelson, go ahead and give me the noise, Doc. Rick, you win a RigRap Bright Light kit from RigRap. And if you will message Catfish Weekly your shipping address, as soon as we get back from Winter Blues, we will get that shipped out to you. And you'll enjoy them. It's a new product they just come out with. I've tested them. Doc has tested them. They work really well. I'm not going to say they're grandkid proof, but they're pretty close. And they're very, very well made. So you'll really enjoy them.
Yeah, and I don't know how we've managed to do this, but you've had the RigRap reel going for how long now?
Oh, a long time.
Yeah, and we've never had the Fish Life Fish Care products on there. So we need to get that added for 2018 on there.
I think I have a spot.
Yeah,
I think I have a spot.
Well, I've got a product that I need to go, so
that'll work.
Make sure you add the Fish Life Fish Care products.
We will do that. Great products, and
we might even slide in a Winter Blues on Wheeler entry here and there.
Oh, now we're talking, ain't we, Doc?
Oh,
now we're talking.
Screw the products. I just want the entry, right?
I take the products with me everywhere I go. So don't forget, you guys. I told you at the beginning of the show, get you a gator, get you one of them warm beanies from Crusher Marine. I'm telling you, they are an outstanding product. I don't even walk the dog without one in this kind of weather. They work.
Anything Crusher Marine is coming out with is a quality product.
Absolutely. Another thing, while I'm thinking about it, Doc, we was talking about this morning. John and I was visiting yesterday coming down here about what happens if your live well pump gets water in it and freezes up. Well, there's an easy answer for that. If you have a survivor unit, it'll force water up into that pump. The water is warmer than the ice. It will thaw it out while you're going down the river.
Yep.
If you don't have a survivor unit, you're just messing up.
Yeah, and that's one, and that's one of the issues that when guys are pulling their boats out of the water, let them drain. Let them drain good. That water pump needs to be drained because that ice will expand and it'll bust that stuff. Then you're going to really run into problems.
You betcha. That's 100% correct. Another key is if you possibly can on these cold days, with the heat of the day gets to be the greatest, that's when you need to try to pull your boat out to get all the water out of the blower unit before it freezes.
Yes.
Now, if it's 8 or 9 degrees, I don't guess it's gonna make much difference.
It don't matter right now. If it's got water, it's just going for it.
Well, we want
No.
everybody to be safe out there. Make sure you wear your PFDs in this tournament. There's a lot of people been out fishing. Has had zero problems. Everybody's being real careful, and that's what we want everybody to have a good time while they're in Alabama.
That's right. Remember, everybody, hashtag Winter Blues Week. We want to see those pictures.
Absolutely. Doc, get the
Thank
feeling
you,
better. Yep, get the feeling better, man. Want to thank Jason Methenia for coming on and helping us out with a great story. Be sure to get involved. Read his story that he has on safety, winter safety. It's a great story. He wrote it some time back. Can't thank Jason enough for helping us out tonight. Jody, Daniel, sorry, Shannon. I'll get it.
You'll get it.
I'll get it.
It'll be okay.
You're going to get used to safety.
Just call it
Absolutely.
that female hostess, then we'll be fine
The hostess with the mostest.
Hostess with the mostest.
for a couple of days.
We're looking forward to Winter Blues. I think everybody is. It's going to be a great time. Always is.
We're
Always
ready.
is.
Yep.
We're
You
ready.
betcha.
It's time. It's here.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Thanks for watching Catfish Weekly. We'll be back next Monday night.
Hi, guys.
I'll be
We'll see y'all
back
in a
in
couple
Missouri. One last thing, Doc. As soon as we get back, we'll be taking entries for the Catfish Weekly National Championship.
Yeah, this is the last tournament.
Yeah.
This is last
I
tournament.
was gonna
So
say, Lynn and I were talking about that today. I wondered when that was.
as soon as we get back, I'll make a post. We'll get all the information out and people can start entering, and it's going to be first come, first serve. So you want to get in quick.
So since you're down there and you're going to know who the winners are, invite them to join Catfish Weekly on Monday night and we'll interview them.
I will. Yeah, we usually try to do that. Now we have a guest for Monday night, but we'll make room for the winners.
That's right.
If they have the facility.
We want that information.
But by the way, the guest next Monday night is Joe Jellison.
All right.
Cat Chats Fishing. So for all you guys that watch his videos, it'd be a great show. Joe's a super nice guy. He's going to join us. We'll get back from Wheeler. We'll have a big pile of money that we won down there, and we'll get to show. We'll have a blast. Well, we're going to have a blast. Let's put it that way.
All right. Guys, be careful. Be safe.
Yep,
Enjoy
absolutely.
yourself.
Thanks for watching.
Everybody. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in on Catfish Weekly. We will see you next week live.